Just a quick question, sir. Are you all here engineers in training? All are trained to be engineers, or computer scientists? Okay, good. So you're just like me, yeah? All right. Okay. So once again, good morning. So I just want to introduce myself. My name is Wan Kwan. Sometimes people call me Ann because you know the name is Ann. But as I said just now, I'm the CEO of Global SS and also the founder of Global SS. I started the company about 7-8 years ago. It's quite a young company, 7 years ago, and when I grew up, I always wanted to start something. But my parents, my father is a policeman, my mother is a housewife. We grew up in police camps and army camps and so on. But there was no really an entrepreneur blood in me, per se. My mother always say, you work hard, you study hard, you get a good degree. After a good degree, then find a good job, marry somebody and have children. Okay. So actually, my growing up was very much, kind of pressured by the desire of my, parents are very good, right? All our parents are good-hearted. They want us to do well in life and so on. So I grew up, studying very hard. I remember by the time I reached Form 5, I was fortunate enough to be awarded as the Public Bank, Award Student of the Year. At that time it was Malay, Chinese, Indian. So I was one of them. And then I got a JPS scholarship. I took a JPS scholarship, but I was bonded for 10 years with the government, by the way. So I take a JPS scholarship. My parents cannot afford to send me to school. So yes, I took the scholarship. I went to the UK, studied at University of Manchester, Institute of Technology, Science and Technology, so UIS. So took a degree, got a first class degree of EE, came back, and the government got no job for me because that time was a bad time. So came back, menganggur lah. So no job, right? And I tried to find a job. My first job was with a company called Akata-Lucent. And then after a couple of years, I joined Hewlett-Packard as an engineer, then move on to be a sales engineer. Then after that, I moved on to be the manager for Malaysia, and then move on to become HP Southeast Asia manager after that. And then HP split into two companies, one HP and then Agilent. I joined Agilent. So I became the managing director of Agilent local office in KL, and then I run Asia Pacific. So at that point in time, my mother was looking at me and said, "Hey, I brought up a good son, a son that has always been in the mind of our parents. That means you invest in the children's education, work hard, get a good degree, and then get a good job." So I was in a way living the dreams of my parents per se, if you like. But something within me was a bit, uneasy. So I said I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to create something. And that's why, the course today is all about entrepreneur, right? You wanted to create something. And the fact that all of you are sitting here, I don't know, by force or by desire, right? Some of you may be here, one saying, yeah, one day I want to be an entrepreneur. Or maybe you say, I want just to learn about entrepreneurship. Or maybe today you come and say, okay, what does it take to become an entrepreneur, per se. So I grew up just like probably many of you here. I mean, all of you here, probably 90% I would say, just wanting to live the dreams, and the parents invested in you, they pay your tuition fees and so on and so forth. Right? So maybe just a quick show of hands. How many of you here wants to be an entrepreneur? Wow, not bad, man. Wow. How many of you not sure, but maybe? Okay, so almost two-thirds in this room wants to be an entrepreneur, or maybe want to be an entrepreneur, and the rest maybe you're just thinking whether it's the right thing for me or not. So let's continue my story. I was the Asia Pacific manager for Agilent at that point in time, and then at that point in time also there was a bad economic downturn. I remember when I first started forming the team, we had 10 people in my team, and then we grew to about 120 people in Asia Pacific, including Japan, all right down to New Zealand. And during that time, there was an economic downturn, and I had to fire 60 people in the organization. It was a very emotional experience for me because firing people is not easy, and people lost jobs and so on and so forth. So at that point in time, I told my boss, why don't you fire me, or rather have a voluntary separation scheme for me so that I can take it and then take the whatever money that I'm going to get for separation scheme and start a new business. I wanted really much to start a business, even at that point in time. And at that point in time, he says, no, you are not qualified, and that's it. So I thought to myself, hey, there's this burning desire. Therefore, I want to say that being an entrepreneur, you wanted to do something, and if you want to do something within you, you just do it. So I remember then I was sitting down and I spoke to my wife. I had three children then, So I said, what's going to be if I start a new business? I don't have much saving, and that was a mistake. If you want to be an entrepreneur, learn to save some money, because that money that you save will be a good capital startup for you to start to be an entrepreneur. But anyway, that time I don't have much saving. I decided anyway to tender my resignation. So I started the journey about 8 years ago. So it's quite, I'm quite young an entrepreneur. So I'm here standing here not to say that I'm a very experienced entrepreneur. I'm one of the many entrepreneurs, and I've learned many things. And I want to share with you some of the practical experiences that I've learned over the years. So the journey for me begins, as I said, about 8 years ago. And out of that, the first journey was that I started with about 30,000 in my pocket. So I had 30,000 saving. 30,000 saving in my pocket then, and I said, okay, I'm going to start something. 30K, if I take a salary of 3K a month, so that will last me 10 months also. And then mind you, I have a 90% drop in my pay. So I was started very high, and then I had to get rid of all my pay, and I said, okay, maybe I want to start something. I want to start building a company, a Malaysian company that is, yeah. Malaysians are very good and very versatile people. Everywhere I go, I was running a business Asia Pacific when I was in Agilent. Malaysians are very versatile and very capable people. And the challenge with all of us is that sometimes we lack self-confidence. And if we have self-confidence, we can make it and compete in the region, right? If not in Malaysia only. But anyway, so the journey began with 30K. And I started, and the first job I got was about 10K, project, 100,000 project that I got. And then I began to hire 2 or 3 people, and then the journey begins from then and then on. The challenge then was that because you don't have much money, right? As an entrepreneur, you got to convince your new employee that you are the right person to believe in. You are heading to the right direction, and then together we can build a team that can be successful in the marketplace. You have, as an entrepreneur, when you start something, you have nothing to show. You have no experience. You have no customers. You have nothing. So what you have is your dream and your vision. So as an entrepreneur, it is important that you share and articulate your dream to your team. Because if you cannot articulate and if your team cannot follow through, then it's very tough. So of course, the journey begins for me 8 years ago. And in case you're wondering what Globe Voices do, I just want to share with you where we are today, so that you have an idea what the journey that I've gone through. You know, what we do is basically Globe Voices is a company, it's a technology company that do monitoring for telco. And this picture is one of an example. It's actually AT&T Network Operation Center. It's called Network Operation Center, where you monitor the quality of your network remotely, you know, in the big screen, almost like a NASA setup. So every operator you go, for example, Maxis or Cellcom or DG, they will have this center to control and have a look at all the centralized monitoring system for all their network elements. So this is what we do. We provide one of the software and one of the solutions within that control center. And this is something that we have in our office. You know, some over 8 years of experience when we first started up. We have grown many times. You know, I remember we grow. Our first year was 200,000 in revenue, and hopefully this year we are closing at 20 million of revenue after 8 years. So it's about 100 times. So when you start something small, entrepreneur is about starting something small and make it multiply multifold, so you can grow it many times. So some of the customers that we have, like Singtel and Maxis, of course, Indonesia, and so on and so forth. And some of the engagement that we have of the past. So when you start small, you can grow. So you start a step at a time. You start a customer at a time, and then you grow and the team grow and so on and so forth. And this is what I was saying. We started at about 200,000 revenue in the first year. And then we grow to about 20 million, and in fact, at the end of the year we are targeting about 30 million book order target. But that's growth. That's entrepreneurship, right? Entrepreneurship is starting something small. You have 10K with you, 5K, 20K. That doesn't really matter. The amount of startup, I want to say this, has got no bearing to how you're going to be successful in the future. All of us think that, okay, if you have 100 million in my pocket, or I have 1 million in my pocket, I can make a successful business. Not necessarily true. Because what is important is what is within you. What do you believe in? Your level of self-confidence. What are you going to do about your ability and capacity? And the greatest asset of an entrepreneur is you. Not the money. The greatest asset as an entrepreneur is what is within you per se. Your dreams and your vision. And that's your asset. Because that's how you start. Because you already have a 10K or 5K or 20K or 100K in your pocket. So your parents are a bit richer, then you can get bigger loans from your parents. But the fact is, you can start small. And being an entrepreneur is about starting small and multiply it many folds. So invest in the long term. So invest now, and hopefully in 7-10 years down the road, you'll multiply 100 times, 200 times, or 300 times. So that's the role, right? So the question is how? For me, I'm just going to share with you some of our big projects. We have done big projects, big data with Maxis.